Obviously, some of it's just entertainment, but if you're a business, if you can help people, they're going to come back and they're going to follow your account and they're going to really be interested and engaged with what you do.
That's good. And welcome to a new episode of the Digital Coffee Marketing Brew. And I'm your host, Brett Dicey. Please subscribe to this podcast on all your favorite podcasting apps. If a 5-star review really does help with the rankings, and let me know how I am doing. But this week, we're going to be talking about social media and small businesses, what everybody needs to know to run a business. You can't just put it on newspapers anymore because no one reads newspapers. No one really reads those anymore. So anyways, I have Peg Fitzpatrick with me, and she is a social media powerhouse, co-authoring The Art of Social Media, Power Tips for Power Users with Guy, and everybody knows who Guy is. And now debuting her solo book, The Art of Small Business, Social Media, a Blueprint for marketing success, as the first head of social strategy for Canva. Peg knows social media, creativity, and community. But welcome to the show, Peg.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love that you just said Guy. You didn't even throw his last name out there. It's true. Nobody in marketing needs his last name.
It's true. I mean, he was the Apple and evangelist back in the day, so everybody knows who Guy is.
It's not in my bio, but I did work with Guy for 10 years, as well as write my book, and we worked at Canva together. So Guy and I worked together for a very long time.
And the first question to all my guests is, are you a coffee or tea drinker?
Actually tea. So sorry, does that count as a marketing brew?
Yeah, because you brew tea.
It's true.
Do you have like any specifics do you like, or you just like any tea that sounds good to you?
No, I like, well, right now I'm really into a ginger tea phase, which is kind of specific, but it's like ginger tea. And then I put ginger slices with some ginger honey. So it's like a triple ginger tea. It's really like good for your digestion and it tastes really good. What are my other favorites? There's one called Nutcracker Sweet, which is really a holiday Christmas tree, but it's my favorite. It's like it's a black tea, but it's really good. If you can find it near the holidays, it's a Celestial Seasonings. That's one of my other favorites. So specific. See, it sounded vague, but I was like,
yeah, I mean, hey, to each his own. I mean, I think the only tea company I've actually liked is called Art of Tea in LA. They have really good teas because I worked at a coffee shop way back and they had really, really good teas. I remember them.
What kind of coffee do you like coffee? I'm assuming then.
I like both. So if you give me a good tea, like Art of Tea had like jasmine pearls and were hand rolled pearls, or they had like an Earl Grey creme, which was actually pretty good. Coffee, I only really do medium to light because it gives me the most caffeine. Plus, it's more flavorful than the dark roast. But people like dark roast, which I don't mind. It's just I prefer not to drink it.
I like matcha tea lattes too. Those are good.
Fair enough.
Healthy-ish.
Yeah, it's healthy. But I mean, I drink coffee black, so that's healthy too. So.
Yeah, actually it is. My husband is obsessed with coffee. He can't live without it.
It's very true. But I gave a brief summary of your expertise. Can you give our listeners a little bit more about what you do?
Well, I have worked in social media since like 2010. I've always worked for a company. So since I started day one, I've actually been paid to work in social media. I've run all different kinds of campaigns. I've worked really like in all different things. I do for the company that I work for all the time. I do traditional marketing things. I make things like, I'll show you one. I make like brochures, like even old school stuff, business cards and things like that, mailers. But then I also do all of their online marketing. I run the website. I do social media, and I do like a monthly marketing. It's like an insiders group where we give them a bunch of assets every month. It's not a social media company that I work for. They actually sell a product. And then like I mentioned, I worked with Guy Kawasaki for a good decade. I just stopped working for him like a year ago just to focus solely on my own things. But I worked on his podcast for probably 4 years on Remarkable People, and did all different kinds of marketing campaigns, like working with Guy. We worked with Motorola and Audi, and I always ran all the social aspect of all the big brand campaigns that we did. I'm a social media speaker. I've spoken at tons of conferences like Social Media Marketing World, Inbound, Alt Summit, all different kinds of speaking engagements. I love doing that. It's fun to go meet people and talk and share things in person. And then aside from that, I do my own social media. Pinterest is my absolute favorite, and I've been writing my book. That's been my main thing for the past. It takes a long time to get a book out in the world. So I've been writing it for a long time, but it's been with a publisher and they've been working on it. So I'm past all those stages and it's coming out in like 2 months. So I'm very happy about that.
Nice. I mean, I guess my more claim to fame was actually Pinterest itself, because when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing, and I garnered over 15,000. That's when the repin thing was like big. It's not big anymore, so I've kind of stopped doing it because
Yeah. Yeah.
they changed it too much. Where I'm like, this isn't as fun when as it was when
Oh, you don't like it anymore? You don't even use it for your podcast?
I put it up there, but it's automated. So, I mean, I probably should go back into it, but I'm very focused on like the video portion of it. And so that's kind of why, I mean, I should probably put the shorts on there, but
You should definitely put the shorts on there because the video is big on there now and you can link every video to your podcast.
yeah. So I'm
So
eventually going back over it. Just when you focus on YouTube, Rumble, and like TikTok, it's hard to like as a one man team go back and like do another one.
you know what? I have a great tip for you. I'll share one of my super top secret things. I'll just share it to you and all your podcast listeners. I use a tool called repurpose.io. And what you can do is if you load your video to like any of those, TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Pinterest, you can go in there and you can share it to all the other ones without having to upload it everywhere. You can customize the text and you can also just automate it. So if you want to just make your short and schedule it on schedule it on YouTube, probably has the best scheduling, and then have it automate. Repurpose will automatically send them to Pinterest and YouTube and like Facebook and Instagram Reels. So you can just upload it once, because video is, podcasting is one thing, but then when you're talking about video, it's so time consuming to upload things and to do the titles and the tags and, all those pieces. But repurpose, you can just go on that one platform and just, once you have it one place, share it to everywhere else. So it's super handy.
I mean, the issue I have is that I have one of those AI ones that repurposes the video from what I edit into, but they don't have Pinterest yet. They've actually ignored Pinterest, and they do X, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but they ignore Pinterest for some odd reason.
But did you say it's going to Instagram? So you can set up in your Instagram to connect your Instagram and your Pinterest. So every time it posts to Instagram, it will automatically go over. So then you don't even have to use another tool, that you can just set that up in Pinterest to connect your Instagram. I have a lot of ideas. But anyway, I mean, since you already had good Pinterest success, it probably would be really great though, you know?
Yeah, back in the day when I was mostly women, and I was like, oh, I'll just try this out, because when it first started, it was very women focused.
Yes. And my friend Jeff that I was telling you about before the show, Jeff C hosted the Manly Pinterest Tip Show. When that was back in the Google Plus days. He used to do hangouts and he loves Pinterest still. So it is very female, or I mean, it's not as much anymore, but I think it does probably make it feel like they were excluding men or it wasn't really for you, but it's always been for whoever uses it, because it's what you make of it, what you search for and look for. So
Yeah, I had nothing against it. I was just like, oh, it's something new. Maybe it might be popular. I'll just try it out. And then I tried it out, and then I amassed a huge following, and I'm like, I don't even know how I did this.
how many followers do you have on Pinterest?
It's like 15,000.
That's awesome.
But that was because of like all the stuff I did prior to it, when it was like new and everybody was like really focused on it. Now that, I mean, I'm not saying that nobody's focused on Pinterest anymore, but it's kind of more on the back burner than all the other ones right now.
It definitely is. And I think that's because there's not the community aspect of it. But the best thing is it takes less time. You don't Instagram, it feels like you're on a hamster wheel all the time trying to make things happen. Like, is this reel going to go somewhere? Is anybody have I posted a story? Like, you have to jump through so many hoops in the meta properties. I feel like.
Yeah, because Threads actually gives you the most engagements because they haven't put ads in it yet. Once I start putting ads on it, that's when you are screwed. That's why I always say when Meta starts going, how can we monetize this? There goes everything that you've done because now you have to pay them to get any reach.
I know they kill the algorithm. Back in the day, every single person that followed your Facebook page would see your stuff. And then that algorithm died. Then everybody was like, okay, we're on Instagram now. It's great. You can build a following. Now, again, algorithm closed down. It's really hard to grow. And yes, you can boost. I will say, I did just promote something. I haven't boosted a post on Instagram and forever. And I boosted one this week. And I actually got a lot of new followers, relevant followers, people who are like small business owners so I was surprised. I actually got followers from ads. Well, it wasn't an ad, it was a boosted post. The easy way.
Yeah, you always have to go to the new ones if you want any more followers. I mean, LinkedIn is still pretty good at engagement. It's not as terrible as the other ones because LinkedIn is just as old or even older than I think a lot of the other ones. Because LinkedIn used to just be your online resume, and then no one looked at it. Now they actually care that you spend time on it.
Right. But then there was that phase when all these new LinkedIn influencers were like, we're the new thing. And they were gamifying everything. And then LinkedIn put the kibosh on those because they were like, hey, you guys are just gamifying everything. So now it's kind of like people are trying to figure it out again. And short form video, now the vertical videos, they're showing those like in your feed now, like they're showing a little row of them horizontally, like they're starting to promote vertical videos too, which I thought was really interesting. They're always so far behind on stuff. You're like, oh, vertical video, what a good idea, LinkedIn.
Well, yeah, I was originally doing the square, but I knew that they were testing it out and eventually going to be releasing it. So, which helps me because I don't have to do two different formats. And so eventually I just pivoted it all to that. So now I think it launched last month or this past. It's still September, maybe the end of last month or this month. It actually fully pushed out, and so I just switched over my process to shorts or vertical only.
Yeah, it's one less thing to remember, right?
Anyways, we went on a long tangent, but it was a good tangent because it's still about social media. But I mean, like, even going on from
That's the best thing about hosting your own show, though. You can like talk to people and go over your processes. Come on, let's be honest, right?
I mean, even talking about social media, I'm like, where is this all? Where is this all going? It seems like everything is video now. Pinterest is. I mean, we talk about Pinterest's video, Instagram. If you really want to grow something, it kind of has to be video. Facebook, it has to be shorts video. Not even like the full videos on Facebook actually matter anymore. It's all about the reels. And so are we all just going to becoming like vertical video influencers or experts now because we have to?
They are making us, it's for sure. I mean, they've been making us just be short form video, no matter how much people on Instagram really just want to post great photos and have their grid all match. It doesn't matter anymore. But people like they train you and then they make you do like, okay, everybody has to do this X thing. And then it's like, okay. And then it just gets there. And now they're just going to switch the photos. I haven't heard 100%, but they were leaning towards changing the photos from 1-to-1 ratio to the like I think it's 1000 by 1350. So they're like more of a portrait thing. So that'll just be another, like, why make all these changes? They make it so hard for small businesses and individuals using social media, but that's the way they do it. I think yes, short. Yes, I think vertical video is definitely the thing because, like we talked about, you can make one thing and share it so many places now in that same format. You just want to make sure that your TikTok logo isn't on there. I still see people sharing from TikTok, and then when it has somebody else's logo on it, no matter what platform is, it's not going to do well because they can all read that on AI. And then I think Threads is the place where people are talking. I love Threads. And now even more people have been coming over as Twitter/X, continues to be the dumpster fire of social media. Um, Even though I used to love that the most. I've always loved Pinterest, but I loved Twitter a lot too, when you could really have great conversations with people. But I haven't had a great conversation with someone on Twitter in a million years. So Threads seems to be the place where you can find people and talk to people, and people, your social following can still grow there, and you can have posts, you know, kind of go viral outside of your followers. That happens a lot there if you post something that's really good. So those kind of snappy, funny things that got popular at Twitter near the end when it was still a thing, those do really well there. So short, snappy things. And again, you can create a thread or you can link to whatever. So
People call X a dumpster fire. I just call it the chaos that is mostly free speech, or free speech as much as we can have it. That is the chaos of letting people talk, no matter how terrible they are. But I mean, that is I guess the beauty and the kind of the consequence of having open speech is that everybody can talk. You may not like it all, but that's the consequence of it.
I don't think the things that they show you, I think that it's all kind of, I don't think it's really just an algorithm choosing what's being shown, though, because there's things that I've blocked that I see over and over again that didn't used to happen. So I don't know. I think it's free speech, but it's also what what the owner wants us to see, which doesn't necessarily make it open. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more.
No, I get what, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, like I said, I use the premium function just because I can upload full videos on it. I like the features to it, and Gronk is interesting in of itself. So I like to like test it out. Is it a little bit more spicier of the social network? Yeah, it is. So you do have to have a thick skin, which I try to have as much thick of a skin as you can, but also I'm not on it 24/7 because that's just madness in and of itself. So like I said, you have to have thick skin. You have to like just roll with the punches. It may not be great, but also they just pushed out X on your smart TV for video too. So they are getting into, and I've downloaded all of them. It's not bad for the first time of trying something out, so it's not bad. But like I said, they are getting into videos just as much. I mean, they're the ones that first created the vertical videos with purchasing Vine, but the old Twitter management didn't know what to do with it.
Which is a bummer because Vine was awesome.
Yep, 6 seconds videos. They could have just expanded it to 30 seconds or a minute, and they probably would have done it well.
But I think part of the beauty is that it was just 6 seconds. That's the thing. When it's short, when you want to make something, it has to be so good to be compelling. Zach King, do you know Zach King? Do you follow him? Oh God, he's amazing. He made it huge on Vine. He was that was where but he's still big everywhere. He's on, all the short form things. He creates that like magical, like really, really good videos with like things disappear. Like he'll disappear. I saw one recently. He was doing this live presentation for like a middle school, and he was there, it was a video that he had playing, and he actually came out of the video on the stage. Like, I don't even know how he did it. Just check out his stuff. He's so good. But I think the beauty is not that it's just this endless amount. It's like really honing things in to make it, when it's short, actually just like tweets used to be, when you just had 180 characters, you had to be, wittier, snappier, more concise. When you have unlimited text, you keep talking until, sometimes you're not adding more value, you're just adding more words. So sometimes the brevity creates like more, like you have to be more creative to be better at it. So I liked when they were shorter. I mean, everywhere just keeps expanding everything, the amount of text, the longer the videos. And I think shorts is one of the only ones where it still has to be like under 130, right?
Shorts have to be under a minute, so it's not even 130.
Under a minute. So yeah, so they still have it's not endless.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought Vine should keep the 6 seconds, but also add context to have someone have. I said about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, but keep it to like still a short thing. I think TikTok is trying to become YouTube, which is kind of funny because they're like, you could talk for 15 minutes. I'm like, no one wants to watch a 15-minute video on that type of format.
I know that, yeah, everybody's just used to, nope, got to be short and on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. If you're out in public and you watch people scroll, they barely look at things for very long. Like if you're like at the bank or something like that and people are just in line, you just see scroll, scroll, scroll. You just see people scrolling. Sometimes I'm just curious to see, are people stopping and reading stuff, or are they, what kind of consumption do people have?
No, I mean, I still read stuff, but even then, mine's starting to go down too because it's just like, okay, do I want do I want to spend time to read this? Do I really care about reading this? I mean, I do my best to stop and actually read the thing, but I mean, we all try our best, but we don't always do it. Yeah, so I mean, YouTube just released where you can now pick your thumbnail on shorts. I just actually just saw a video from TubeBuddy today about it, like an hour ago. And so only through the mobile app, you can actually pick a thumbnail through the video and add text to it. So are we going to see more,
Only when you're uploading, though?
I guess, custom thumbnails? Because custom thumbnails seem to be a big thing for shorts because most people come from Google search to shorts or by their analysis. So should small businesses start to look at that? Because you still have to do it through your phone. I can't go on YouTube Studio and pick my thumbnail through shorts, unfortunately. I have to go through my phone, which adds another process to do something that I just don't care about doing.
It does. I hate when they make you do things on your phone because I never want to type in my titles and text and all of that on my phone. I always like having it on the desktop, or just so then you got to like write it out and cut and paste it and put it in to get the good thing. I would say thumbnails definitely are important. The fact that YouTube kind of took this long when, TikTok has kind of had that much longer where you could create a thumbnail and, people kind of, if you go to different accounts, they kind of have their vibe for using the in-app stuff. And I think that's part of the thing that all of the platforms want you to do is like use their app for part of the creation process of it. So you can put the text in their app and the title that has your keywords. And it does take longer though, because like I said, I like to use repurpose and put it on one place and then go in the other ones. But in that service, I can change the thumbnails. Like you can change the text, the thumbnails, and the links on there. So it saves me that having to do it. But I don't know if YouTube Shorts will, you could definitely do it in the app on desktop for repurpose. But yeah, having to do it in the app is more time consuming. But I think the custom thumbnails are important because there's a different vibe everywhere. The YouTube vibe is one thing and the TikTok vibe is another. And then Reels, it's going to be on your profile to go. So they all do have a different little vibe. If you're a small business owner or even a podcast host, you can have the same exact one for all of those and just have it be well branded. And it's the same size too. So you could just create one, short form vertical video thumbnail and use that everywhere. But it is another step. And if you can just choose it from the video, that's great. And then you can probably put text over it. Again, they want you to do it in the app.
I still find it annoying because I'm like, can I just do all of it through? Stop making me jump through hoops. I hate jumping through hoops.
I know, and then they change it, and like next week it'll be something else. But this week it's this. I mean, it is nice, and maybe a lot. I don't know what percentage of people. I would assume that most YouTubers are not doing everything on their phone because uploading takes so long, and there's so many things you got to get right in the back end for to really optimize a post. Especially if you, I love TubeBuddy too. I mean, if you're using TubeBuddy, then if you're uploading it on your phone, you don't have that. If you're doing it on your desktop, then you have the help of like add all the stuff, make this title better. They have the little thumbnail tester. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that means they're going to favor people who do that, or the shorts that do that favored, or is it just for aesthetics of having custom thumbnails? Maybe it's something people asked for, but I'd rather be able to do it on desktop myself too.
The community's been asking for custom thumbnails for since the inception of it, but I don't think they were just asking just to put it on their app. I think they're just asking to have the option to do it. I think YouTube's like, hey, I guess everybody's watching more shorts on their phone, which may or may not be true.
Watching and uploading are two different things, aren't they, though?
I get what they're trying to do. I just think that they're missing the boat on, like, if I'm uploading, I'm sitting at my desk uploading things. I'm not sitting on my phone hoping when it, well, short, so it's only a minute, so it won't take that long even on a phone to actually upload. But still, I'm doing a bunch of things at once. I'm not doing one thing all the time.
Yeah, I think they probably made a mistake looking at the total number of like, where do people spend most of their time? Oh, they're all on their phone on shorts. Cool. But yeah, I think for people, I think for creators and small, businesses and anybody else doing it, they're definitely doing it on their desktop. Maybe they'll add it.
I mean, I have big thumbs, so I mean, I mistype all the time on my phone. So I'm probably have to get those foldable phones now just to get the bigger keyboard.
Yeah. And they're cool too.
Yeah. So
Those are Android, right?
yeah, it's Samsung, which is Android, and then Pixel phone. But Samsung has the flip one, and then the foldable one, and then Pixel or Google Pixel has just the foldable one like that. They just released the new one, I think, this month. So, for small businesses, since we're talking about video, like how do they get started with this? Because I'm pretty sure they all want to do it, but they just are like, how do I get started on this? What do I do? Because it's like video, and video is like a fire hose a lot of times. You're like, how do I do this thing that people do so well?
It does feel hard to get started. I think the main thing is you can just do it on your phone. You don't have to worry about, bigger cameras or anything like that. You do need to think about lighting. Lighting always counts, but even just make sure if you're, facing a window where the light is coming directly into your face, that's good. Because it matters a lot. Sound matters a lot. So, just do some test videos. That's the main thing, to just see how you can do it. There are tons and tons of resources on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram to some extent, but TikTok and YouTube for sure. You can just look up how to, create good short videos, and you'll get a lot of tips that, are important. One really super easy one is to make sure that you're looking at the camera on your phone. So if you're recording and you see yourself talking, you are looking at yourself and you're not looking at the camera. I see it all the time, even in people who have huge accounts and they're looking at themselves. When you see people and their eyes are not making contact, like right now, do you post video on yours? Okay, so video. So if right now I'm looking at my camera, but right now I'm looking at the host. So it's a very subtle difference of really making contact with people through the camera. And like if you're looking at yourself when you're talking, you're not looking at the camera. So make sure that you're looking at the camera and that you have good light. Come up with a concept for what you want to do. You don't have to do dances or you don't have to do lip syncing things unless it fits your brand, but just, come up with an outline for the short form video, because even though it's short, you don't have to have an exact script where you're going to say all the exact things, but just have some main points, and don't try to make it longer if you're done talking. Like I think sometimes that's an early mistake, that people just make things too long and repeat things too much. So just kind of, make sure that you have a purpose that's going to help serve your business. What's your video about? Who's it going to reach? Are you providing helpful content? That's a really great way to start for business owners, small business owners, is to have a purpose for your video that will help someone. So say, for example, you're a dry cleaner and you want to help dry clean, people that are coming in. Maybe you're going to do tips on stains. Maybe you're going to be like, this is a stain that you absolutely can't get out. Show with the stain, show how you do it, show how clothes are cleaned, like helpful tips, like fall is coming, clean your closet out. These are the things that you need to do to store your things for the next season. Don't put them in plastic, take them out of the plastic before you store them, like things like that. Helpful tips, helpful suggestions, things that people can learn about. That's what people want when they're online for short form videos. Obviously, some of it's just entertainment, but if you're a business, if you can help people, they're going to come back and they're going to follow your account and they're going to really be interested and engaged with what you do.
Yeah, I had problems before I got the Elgato teleprompter with looking at the camera because I was always looking here instead of here. So that's helped me. But I mean, I think for tips for me was just turn your phone on the back, like look at yourself, see if it works, then just turn it to the back so you don't actually look at yourself anymore, because it's a distraction where you're like, am I looking good? Am I doing am I doing all right? And then you're like, oh, I have to look here.
You got to look up. If you see yourself talking, you know you're doing it wrong. It is hard. It's hard. And that's why you just practice it a couple times, set it up. I mean, you can get like this one is not even very expensive. This is just a thing I got on Amazon. This opens up. It's got like the little thing that pops up so it can extend way up. You can do vertical like that. And then it has a little tripod and it even has like a little remote on it so you can start it. It doesn't take a lot of equipment, but just something so you can set it up so you're not holding it too. Because if it is hard to just hold your video and record, so just get, it doesn't have to be a lot of equipment, just sunlight, your camera with your lenses cleaned off, looking at your camera, and then, in some kind of tripod, some kind of something that will, so even if it's just one of the like phone case things that sticks onto things, doesn't have to be expensive, but then your camera's not going to move. You can look right at the camera. And like I said, just test it, especially if you're going to flip your camera, which then you get your better cameras. So if you do it from the front forward facing, that's your not as good camera. So just do test a couple times, make sure that your sound is good. If if you need a mic, then you need a mic. If you're going to do them all the time, you eventually do need to make sure you have good sound. You could just even get the tiny mics, or a lot of people now, the popular thing is just have those little Rode mics and they're holding them. So sound counts, light counts, and then just being present and having something interesting or informative or both to say.
Yeah, there's several. Rode has their wireless Pro now. That's the third generation. You can get the wireless too. There's also Hollyland has one that's like it's about like this big, about a quarter size of the mic, and it's magnetic. You can stick on it. And there's DJI also has them. So yeah, I mean the Hollyland one, which I got, I also have the Rode ones, was like 179 for two mics plus the receiver plus a way to attach it on an Android or Apple phone, or just Apple or both now, because Apple just switched to the USB-C on their newest phone. So yeah, you can get pretty good, decent like sound out of pretty inexpensive wireless mics now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I actually have the Rode one too and forgot about it. Because you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, I do have one that has like, you end up, if you do this long enough, you end up with a lot of equipment.
That I eventually have to sell all the equipment because I don't use all the equipment.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have so much. I have mics, like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you test something, you use it for a while. Of course, they changed the little adapters and things like that. So then you end up, you know, because of that, but you end up with a lot of little extension things.
Yeah, USB-C is becoming the standard now, even for Apple. I mean, my iPad Pro last generation has a USB-C configuration, which is great for me because I'm an Android user too. So that's one cable instead of two different cables.
Right. So much better. Yeah, I know. Hopefully they'll just stick with that because it is really a pain when you're switching back and forth all the time.
Right. So, I mean, what trends do you see for small business to understand for the next 5 to 10 years? Is it going to be like, you know,
5 to 10 years.
are we going to see like Vision Pro stuff finally coming to the forefront? I know Vision Pro for Apple is still very expensive. It's like $3,500 for the unit, but I've seen Blackmagic and other companies make cameras specifically for it too. So there is a market. I don't know how big the market is, but there is a market for it. We're going to see more AR stuff. Are we going to see more virtual reality stuff come to the forefront? Like, how is social media going to evolve with all these emerging or old technologies becoming new again?
I know anything can be the QR code, right? Remember QR codes came out and everybody was like, no, those are stupid. Now you see them everywhere again because they did serve a great purpose. I would say for the future, I don't know if I can predict 5 to 10 years out because wow, that's a long time in social media world. But I think one of the biggest things, based on the fact that we talked about how algorithms and all those things are controlling and changing things, I think building a community is more important than ever. The engagement piece, really connecting with people who are listening to your podcast or watching your videos, to make sure that you're you're capturing the information somewhere like an email list so you can contact people when you want to, because if you don't have an email list and you can't email people, algorithms are going, changing, every time you have new content or news or, something coming up, you want to be able to contact people. So I still say building your email list is a really smart thing. And having your own website is really smart. As TikTok got so crazy popular, people started not having websites anymore, and everything is just a milkshake link or whatever, link in bio kind of deal. And I think that they really lost the message, because TikTok can disappear at any time. Any of the social platforms can be gone, and then you have no audience and you don't have your content anymore. So what are you going to do? So I think making sure that you connect with people and, get people's email addresses, and so you can talk to them when you want to, and not just rely on platforms and algorithms. So try to create, which I talk about in my book, try to create a more platform agnostic. So you're not just good at TikTok, you're good at short form video. So you can adapt that wherever you want it to go. Because if you're putting all your eggs in the basket of a social platform and being great on that one social platform, that one thing can go away, like Google Plus, Vine, Meerkat. I mean, there's a lot of things that have come and gone where people built big platforms and they disappeared. So just make sure that you're not focusing on the platform, but you're focusing on creating the best content you can, and then putting it out where it will reach people the best.
Oh yeah, Meerkat versus Periscope. That was an interesting time.
The times. Remember, it was like they came out within a week of each other, and it was South by Southwest. And first Meerkat was popular, and then by the end of the first day of South by Southwest, Periscope was popular, and Meerkat was dead. I remember that specifically because I was working with Guy, and I told him, make sure you have this app loaded because we're going to go live and you need this app. And then a day later, I was like, that one's gone. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's just not popular anymore. I mean, it was around longer than that, but it was just crazy. Periscope had a little bit better user interface, and it just kind of took over.
And it also was bought by Twitter. That helped.
Not at that point, but eventually, yes.
Yeah, that's true. And then Meerkat kind of died because Twitter was like, nope, you can't share any of your Meerkat stuff through our through our platform. It has to be Periscope. And then Meerkat was dead.
Yep. And then everything was Periscope. And that's what happens. Like, it could be a good thing, but then something else comes along, it gets acquired. That's the whole platform agnostic thing. Like, you just got to make sure that you're not hitching your wagon to someone else's property, because that can happen. It can go away. So
Do you think live streaming will still become somewhat viable? Because I know LinkedIn does like you to go live. I'm just not. I mean, it's another beast because you have to like prepare everything, including you and your guests, for being live because there is no redo.
right. I do think that live things still are very popular because people do like that aspect of connecting. It's exciting. Oh, digital coffee's live today. And then, you go and people are like right there with you. And people do. I haven't gone live in so long. I used to do it like every Friday. I had a Thanks a Latte Friday show where I would like just do Q&A for my audience. It was public, but I mean, it was like questions that people would give me. And I did that for a long time, just live. And people do like that live aspect. I think it's still really good. I mean, for a business, you could do, I mean, it depends. Like, if you have something to talk about, but it is a whole other thing. Then you have the cameras and the lights and the, what's changed on the platform today. And you do it, it's, you have a little outline, and maybe people will be live, maybe people won't be live. You never know. But Instagram has live, YouTube has live, LinkedIn, I'm sure X still has live. Pinterest tried it. They tried like a Pinterest TV thing. They don't have that anymore. They're the one place where they don't really have it. But pretty much every place else, you have the option of going live. So it still is popular, and people still like that little, they see you live. LinkedIn, it used to be when you would go live, a notification went to all of your followers because it wasn't that popular yet. So there are advantages to doing it. I don't know. For businesses, it would be like more if you had an event or something and you wanted to just go live to show people something special. If Black Friday's coming up and you want to show what you have in store. But yeah, I think live videos are still popular. I don't think they're as obsessively popular when like everybody was doing them, but I think there are people who still do it because when you go on Instagram, you still at the top of your feed, whoever you're following that's going live, you still see that right up in your, right up in the top corner. So it still does get premium placement.
You also have Twitch and then Amazon by itself. So if you are a business that does do a lot of product releases or has some product releases, Amazon Live might actually be a better spot for that because people are specifically looking to buy something.
Absolutely. Yeah, my friend Jeff does Amazon Live too, and he loves it. He does product video things too, but he also goes live.
And TikTok, but people hate TikTok Live because of just how like locked down it is to actually get a stream key and a RTMP. You can't really get it. They want you to go through their TikTok Live studio, which is not very user friendly. So they're really just like shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, they want to be on your device real bad.
Anyways, since people have been listening to this podcast and they're wondering where can they find you online to learn more about you and learn more about social media.
I have a website, pegfitzpatrick.com, and I'm at Peg Fitzpatrick on all the social channels. And my new book is coming out, The Art of Small Business Social Media, a Blueprint for Marketing Success. It's out on pre-sale everywhere where you want to get your own books. And then you'll get it in November when it's live. But it is on pre-order now. So.
Gotcha. Any final thoughts for listeners?
Thanks for having me on your show. It was really fun having this conversation. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up and let me know. It's always interesting to see what piece, people have a question about. But no, it was great. It was a great conversation. I appreciate you having me on your show.
You're welcome. And thank you, Peg, for joining Digital Coffee Marketing Brewing, sharing knowledge on social media and small businesses and social media. And thank you for listening. As always, please subscribe to this podcast on all your favorite podcasting apps. Leave a 5-star review. Let us help with rankings and let me know how I'm doing. And join me next week as I talk to another great thought leader in the PR marketing industry. All right, guys, stay safe. Get to understanding your social media and how you can do better with video editing and all that other fun stuff. And see you next week. Later.